the Sweaty the Farmer and the game design, and you ask, what's in the center of a black hole? Well, our very special infinite time condensed plum. It will destroy you in every timeline. Right now, this is episode number 49. Collect and read aloud the content. I am the learning gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week we experience the Event Horizon of Plum Collection.
Oh my god, that's such a bad movie. But fun to watch, though.
What movie?
Event Horizon.
I didn't know that's a movie.
You didn't know that was a movie? It's like a cheesy 80s horror movie in space with Fishburne and a bunch of like known actors. It's quite fun.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, I recommend you would laugh a little bit and see 80s horror cheese. Yeah.
I was talking the physics concept, not the.
I know.
Not the movie.
I know, it's a joke, dude. Chill.
It's not funny.
Not funny? Alright. Feel funny though. Anyways, the disclaimer before we start. Remember the discussion here is based on our own opinions, our own in-game experience, and our bad sense of humor apparently. So whatever we say here and we say in the podcast is colored by our own life in the game sphere. So if you're not agree with something or do you have different opinion, let us know in the comments below if you're watching us and hearing us on YouTube, or you can send us a message or anything that you want through all our social medias. Links should be in the general descriptions everywhere. There we are. So in the deep dive today we have what happened with the all unfinished content in Warframe, and quality of life changes that could be brought to Destiny 2, and finally an insane collection story in World of Warcraft. So, my friend that don't find me funny. What is the
no one found you funny.
No one's find me funny. Oh god.
Get that out there.
Is that the official statement?
Yeah.
So I'm the only one.
You think you're funny.
I think I'm funny. I made people laugh.
They laugh at you.
There you go. That I'm funny. Like my jokes cannot be good, but I still make people laugh. So that means that I'm funny.
No, that's not what that means.
Like, yes, of course. I'm funny like a clown is funny. Well, clown is kind of sad funny, but anyways.
You see? Okay, so you're kind of funny, but it's mostly sad.
Oh my god. Stop it, Lucho. So, what is this about? Apparently, it's a lot of things that haven't been finished inside the Warframe.
Yeah, so this is... there has been a long criticism of Warframe that
yes.
I do share up to some degree.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably one of the biggest flaws in Warframe, for as much as I love the game, is that they have a lot of ideas that feel incomplete in the game.
Yes.
It's very... How do I put this? It feels very like a collage.
Yes.
But not in a good way. Like
So it's not like a collage that you made in uni to present something and it's kind of interesting, more like a collage of a 9-year-old that took a lot of pasta and threw paste on it
But even those could be good. It's just a collage that has still a lot of white space showing through.
Yeah.
It's not full, but it has the potential because the ideas are good.
Yes.
But they just lack that finishing touch, like that That Blizzard polish.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, and it's I don't know what to tell about. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing about. I get why. Like, I get why.
No, I get why.
Yeah, we get why. We get why this happens with Warframe in particular.
No, I mean, it's easy to explain. Like, it is a small studio.
Yeah.
They don't have the manpower to develop all the things at the same time.
Yeah.
And they still have the pressure of producing new stuff.
Correct.
But keeps the game alive. So they're in a constant battle between maintaining the old stuff.
Yeah.
And making new stuff.
Yeah. So
and they just don't have the manpower to do both at the same time all
correct.
the time.
They will need to like be the double of the studio that they are to do everything that they do, which is always interesting, which they're always pushing boundaries, they're always looking for interesting thing to give the players.
Yes. Warframe is a very experimental game in that sense.
Yeah.
That they have the freedom to do crazy stuff, and they do, and it is exciting when they do.
Yes. But they don't take it to finished state what they do.
Some of the ideas feel unfinished.
Yeah, they put a lot of ideas, they hype everybody, they deliver this base experience for what they think in paper and when they sell in their expansions and their game modes and everything else. But they tend to never finish everything that it entails to do the thing that they were doing.
But it's weird because it's not that the idea that they're delivering is not a finished idea.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's the thing. Like
it's just that it has, like, as a product is finished because it's functional and you can just play it and it has all the things to be a finished product.
Correct.
But it's just like you as a player can still see the raw potential.
Yeah.
And that's that feels bad because the end user shouldn't see it.
Correct.
It should feel like a whole thing. Like, this is the thing.
Yes. So there's like a bunch of systems that in that same way start to feel, and that creates a sensation of disconnection of systems in the game itself. Where where we have this lich system, which is kind of a nemesis system, and it gives you all these cool rewards and this stuff, but you can absolutely ignore it at certain points, and it's not completely integrated with the rest of the liches don't come into the open wars and don't affect your experience in other places when they should, because it was supposed to be this all-encompassing system.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so we're looking, just to make things clear, we're looking like at a person who's compiling, to some degree, a list of all these things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they mentioned is the lich system. And out of this, I'll say this is the one that feels the most complete to me.
Yes. No. The system is quite complete, but what I'm saying is not. It doesn't feel entirely integrated into the whole.
Why not? That's to me.
Yeah, I can entirely ignore it and.
Yeah, but you can ignore most things in Warframe.
Yeah.
But Warframe as a game was designed to, you can just do whatever the heck you want. You don't like open world, you don't have to.
That is also true. What else?
Do you want to ignore all the other Warframes because you just want to play Atlas? Go get it, then you can do it.
Well, all right. Anyway, the other things...
You don't have to engage with anything in Warframe. That's kind of its thing.
Yes, but it should be feel more... I don't know.
But that's my point. It feels like as long as you get one, he will show up in the parts of the map where he's invading.
Yeah.
What else do you want? Just for normal missions. like there are no Lich missions. They're just normal missions that are invaded by your thing.
Yeah. Well, if you feel more interested in theme bit, sometimes like your instance of the open world or
Yeah, but there are only 3 open worlds in the whole game.
Yeah, I know.
So it could.
Yeah.
But after you're done with one open world, you don't spend that much time in it, for example.
Yes.
So I don't see a good reason. Like making it invade an open world wouldn't make that much difference, because at some point, or for most of your Warframe experience, you want to spend most of your time in an open world.
All right.
Most of your experience is on the starter shirt.
Okay, so you feel like the Lich system is complete?
I think it's the most complete.
All right.
I think it still lacks. Like, for example, we only have Grenier Lich.
Yes, correct.
We should also have Infested Liches, and we should also have... I forgot the name.
The name of the faction. Yeah,
completely forgot the name.
Capitalism Liches. Extreme capitalism Liches. Corpus Liches. Corpus
Liches. It's in that sense that it feels incomplete to me.
Yeah,
because they they do the thing that I expected them. Like, so you go get one, they invade your missions, they take away your resources. And then there is a whole farming thing for them, and they have the rules.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Technically, because of the lore of the Liches, they shouldn't be anything more than Grenier?
For the specific Kua Liches, no.
Yeah.
But you can come up with like there is an old Alat B, when he was developing the Hyena project.
Yeah.
Like, he was actually capturing Warframes.
Yes, correct.
And he was slicing them and putting parts inside the Hyena things.
Correct.
Which is, it has the similar sense of what a Lich is.
Yes, correct. So you can
It doesn't have to be like a Kua Lich thing, because it doesn't have anything to do with Kua.
Yeah.
But it can be... It's just the same Nemesis system, the same Lich system.
Yeah.
With Alat B flavor, if you want.
With Alat B. All right, now. So you say, yeah. So the evolution of the system.
It's like the natural extension of the system.
Yes,
so
correct.
it is like... It works in lore for the Kua Liches, for Grenier, that's fine. I think that mechanically speaking, they're good enough.
Yeah.
Because they have they invade your map and your star shirt, and the more peace they are, the more nodes they have.
Yeah.
And when you push them out of one planet, they go out and invade other planets.
I feel like this is not a problem of how good or bad the systems that they develop are. It's a problem of the nature of Warframe, like the fact that it's such an experimental game. Because if you take any of the systems that are mentioned here, like Liches, Railjack, like open worlds and that sort of stuff.
Railjack is a different beast on its own.
Yes, but I think the feeling that these guys have is like all these systems by themselves could be an entire expansion in other games.
Yes,
and that's the weird feeling. Like, you can take Railjack and put it in another game, and all the system and everything that is there, and you can have a year-long expansion of only content in Railjack, right? New missions, different kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And more lore related to it, and maybe have some more story beats inside the system, and maybe put another frame on, or another kind of different reward on the system, and expand on it, right? That's the feeling that this person have particularly. Like, all this, they develop all these great system and stuff to do, but they never take it to his conclusion, to his final evolution.
It's not even about taking it to its final evolution.
Yeah.
It's about having the base thing feel complete.
Yes.
Again, it's just the fact that, for example, leeches, they only exist for one faction. That feels incomplete because we all know that we have 3 enemy factions.
Yes. That
are like core to a game.
And one thing that humans love, it is completion. It is completion of stuff. And this was, I remember this distinctly because it was very important for when Magic was developing cycles of stuff. And once you present a human with a cycle of stuff, and if you give it to it incomplete, it will bother him to no end. It will always scratch his brain, and it's a psychological thing, right? So that's the feeling that you're referring to, particularly in the example of the Coalition, that we have 3 factions, and it was the same with the open world, that they just finished the cycle in this light development thing.
But I mean, that's fine. But like, if you think like I'm okay with that taking a couple. Like, for example, having the 3 faction open world.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that taking a little bit longer because I do understand that they wanna iterate more things in those.
Yes.
So I'm just thinking like developing one whole open world takes more time than reskinning the Coalition system.
Correct.
Because the system is already there.
Yes.
And like people are not asking them to have something completely different for the infested leeches. We just want infested leeches.
Yeah. But it's
like the system on itself, it's fine. The farm on itself is fine. It works.
Yeah.
It's fun. People do it. People like collecting the new guns.
Yeah.
Just give us the other 2 flavors.
Yeah, but it's the thing again. It's the thing about completion of stuff. Give us the other 2. In Railjack, we can have the same example. In Railjack, there is just only what is the name of the faction? The one we're just talking about.
Grenier faction.
There's only Grenier combatants. Where are the Corpus combatants? They have ships too.
Sure, but that's not what Railjack is really suffering from. Railjack is suffering more from the lack of mission variety.
Exactly, but then it tells the other factions too. Yeah, the completion of the system.
It doesn't really matter. Like, for sure, it would be nice at some point to have project missions for the other factions.
Yeah,
but that is a long term. Like that is a longer term thing.
Yeah, but
because we don't. They have to actually make the shapes and the tile sets and the stuff.
What I mean is that would make part of the actual.
It makes
mission,
part, but it's not what people
variety.
are really asking for.
Yeah, of course.
Not really. You can have mission variety. Now it's just that we have only one type of mission in Railjack.
Yeah.
That's what people are talking about.
Correct.
People are not talking about what the skin does the mission have.
Yeah.
It's just there is one type of mission.
Yes.
People are asking, okay, we should have a spy mission for Railjack.
I know. What I mean is that they already have things in place where they can develop that mission variety, and they can use the other factions to do that mission variety. Yeah, it's a way to do it. That's the example what I'm doing. And in the same way, they can finish cycles because that makes it more evidently that the system is not quite complete. I understand. Sure. Yeah.
Yes and
that's
no.
my point.
I don't think. Like I don't think for Railjack it's as important to use our factions.
Yeah.
And it is just to expand the type of missions.
Fair enough.
Like what I'm saying is that the faction extension that can take longer.
Yeah.
Like if we don't have infested or corpus missions for a while.
Yeah.
it's okay as long as we have enough type of missions to play in raid.
Yeah, but I think this is a serious problem of Warframe. The more that I think about it, like we were discussing about why they don't take all the improvements that they've been done in open worlds and put it into the other open worlds, right? That too is more part of like completing certain stuff,
That
or like finishing
should
certain
happen.
systems. Yeah.
I'm oddly okay with that because, for example, for me, Planes,
Yeah.
it feels oddly complete to me.
All right. Yeah.
It's not the best. It's not the ultimate open world,
Yeah.
but it's complete in my head.
Correct. All right.
Because like the whole bounty system is complete. It has its super bosses, idling things.
Yeah.
That has 3 of them, and that makes it feel complete, for example.
All right.
Could it be better? Sure.
Yeah.
Like could it have the random cave system? Sure, but that in my head will feel more like an improvement or the base thing that plays for me is done.
Yeah.
It's complete.
All right. So
Fortuna, for example, feels incomplete, but just because they said that they want to make 3 orbs, 3 spider fights,
yeah.
and they never release the 3rd one.
So there's 2 spider fights. No, they're missing
2 right now.
They're missing 1 spider fight.
Maybe they shouldn't have said that. That's a problem. and I was expecting 3 because also there are 3 Eidolons in Planes of Eidolon.
Yeah. Do we have a big fight in
I don't know. I haven't reached the point where I don't know. I haven't reached the point where I can tell you.
Yeah. So is this my question? Is this a problem for Warframe? Is this a consistent problem for Warframe? And then all the time not finishing things.
It is a consistent problem.
And then the question is, should they just stop and finish the systems when they're out?
Should they? That's a really hard question to answer.
Yeah, because what you're asking is yes, they can stop, but because again of the size of the team that they had, they probably will delay a bunch of stuff, right?
It definitely they can only do one thing at a time.
Yes.
They don't have the manpower to 2 things at a time.
Yeah, correct.
You know
correct. So should they like take their time and just develop the rest of the railjack system, and that means that it will take 6 months, 4 months more of the next thing coming out?
Oddly enough, I will be okay with that.
Yes.
But I know that they run like the problem is that they're risking losing too many players in the process.
Correct. Will that so that's the big question, right? Will that make the game better at the long run?
It probably will.
So that means that it's worth losing some players now.
That's hard for us to tell.
Yeah.
Because you may lose too many players if it takes too long. Like let's say you commit completely, because it's basically committing the team.
Yes.
And you commit the team. Okay, we are gonna add 4 more missions to Railjack.
We're gonna finish all the factions.
Let's not even talk about the factions.
All right, just the missions. All right, fair enough.
Let's just add as many mission types as we have on the regular starship.
Yep.
Not even just mission type.
Yep.
Let's commit the team to that.
Yep.
Let's say it's gonna take us, I don't know, what do I know, 4 months.
Yeah.
But things that are happening though, like we know how development is. It's problems are gonna rise. It's gonna take all the time. Now we're almost a year without content in the game.
Yeah.
You may be losing enough players in that period of time that you will find it hard to recover, like to convince people to go back to a game.
Or
because
the other,
like it or not, Warframe needs to have new players or people playing all the time
Yes.
to survive as a game.
Yeah. But the other side of the coin is, yeah, you will lose all those players, but the other side of the coin is, but you historically will have the guarantee that you are putting complete expansions or
Yeah, but
or
who
new
cares
things.
about that if you're losing, if you're really hurting your player base in the process?
But then you will enter into an F flow, right? Where you have a big spike of players when new things come out, and then you go down, a lot down, and then again.
The problem is that free games cannot afford that.
All right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, because of the model, of the accessibility model that Warframe has. Yeah.
Free to play games cannot afford that. It's not.
Yeah, they don't have subscriptions or anything like that.
If it were a subscription game like World of Warcraft or Fantasy or Elder Scrolls or anything like that, sure. And that's how they do it. Like then they're perfectly fine with that. They have huge spikes of players when the big patches of content come, which come like 3 or 4 times every 2 years.
Yeah, correct.
Not every 2 years, but like in a period of 2 years, they have like 3 or 4 big spikes of players, which correspond to large patches, expansion / bigger patches.
Yeah.
And they are okay with that because people will pay the subscription for a couple of months.
So are they just like victims from their business model?
It is just what a free-to-play game is, and you have to operate in the restrictions of what you are.
Yeah, they might be just victims of the game or the business model, and that probably be that probably be the reason they eat.
Oh, it's absolutely. I think on the No clip, I don't know if in the base documentary, but they have an interview with Rorek and an interview with Steve.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure in the interview with Rorek, she says that basically they need to do both things at the same time.
Yeah.
They have to maintain the content and they have to make new content, and they have to do both at the same time.
And at the long run, what happens is that this happens. Some content is just like stop.
Yeah, this is extreme.
In super slow mode, and it feels like it's being abandoned.
Yeah, and that's. And I think like the funny thing is that things don't really get abandoned because they get fixed.
Yeah.
And improve on, but it might take years, like literally years.
Literally
of
years.
Time.
Yeah. Of like getting there and finishing the thing.
Doing things.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard because.
Really hard.
Because Warframe is such a cool game experiment, weird thing that everybody can.
It is a cool game.
Yeah, that everybody can experience, and it feels crazy, and the game has a lot to offer for $0, and you will get a lot of enjoyment from it. And these sort of criticisms to me is like I feel like yes, they're valid criticisms. The person is right, but the good outweighs the bad so much in Warframe terms. That is hard to like pressure them to actually finish everything that they experiment with.
I know what you mean, and I know how you feel because I feel the same way. My point is not to hit the wall while they're down. It's just that Warframe is not a perfect game. It has its problem, and these are big problems.
Yes.
But I know it's also kind of frustrating because when you see complete systems in Warframe, they do work really well.
Yes, they're amazing.
Like,
absolutely
for example,
amazing
the base at Starshirt. It took years for them to complete and polish the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now the base Starshirt and the base loop of getting things and doing missions.
Yeah.
It feels good and it works.
Yeah.
And that's like a complete part of the game.
Yes.
In my opinion, Focus is complete, for example.
Correct. Yes.
Now, which was not the state in which it released.
Yes. It took, 4 years for them to complete the system?
Something around those lines. Like to make the changes to Focus and to Focus games.
Yeah.
But now it feels like a complete system.
Correct.
It is. You can finish the system, but it takes months of grinding days.
Correct.
But it feels complete, and it gives you a nice power-up for your operator.
Yeah.
And it feels cool, like being powerful in the thing.
Yeah.
But that's, again, like a complete thingy. But it took years to get there.
Correct, yeah.
So...
Then...
And it is frustrating when you're experiencing the game live.
Yeah. Like, so the big question is always, how can we fix this, and is it realistic to fix it? So I think the answer, thinking in development time and cost and what it means to finish the systems and that sort of stuff, I think the lesson, I think there is no way that Warframe as it is right now can finish everything on time and like have these cadences of these big MMO like games, unless they change to another monetary scheme, be that subscriptions or more aggressive microtransaction on actually selling their expansions or whatever it is, right? Because we're talking about real money and real time and real people doing all this work to finish these systems. Yeah? But not being tied to that allows them the flexibility of experiment with a bunch of different stuff and being more approachable as a game with all the weirdness that Warframe already have. So I think in the end is a problem that is right now for Warframe is difficult to avoid for them. Even if they try, like most of the open worlds feel complete. I think the lesson to learn comes with the lesson that learned before is not promising so many stuff to the players. Right?
That's Steve's fault. He gets excited.
Yeah. Right. I think last year the last 2 years have taught them these lessons. It's like, be aware of your limitations. Don't promise them heaven and earth. I know that you want to hype your players. I know that you want to be excited about the game and everything else, but more often than not, they end up shooting themselves in the foot. in those terms, right? What do you think of that? I think that's it, right? I think that those are right now the options that they have. Like either they change the scheme and delivering everything that they want to promise. They want to promise you the best game in the world. I know that Steve Sinclair wants to do that all the time. He wants to give you heaven and earth. Like he loves to do crazy stuff in games. Right?
That's why the community loves Steam.
Yeah, exactly. But now that he's wise old man, he learns that you cannot promise everything.
Part of me hopes that he never learns because it's...
I know. Part of me doesn't hope that he never learns. Part of me hopes that he still keeps experimenting and doing new things. But
I think he's... And you have seen his interviews. He's a very creative person.
Correct.
I don't think he could not be thinking about new stuff all the time.
Which is fantastic in the games. Yeah. But again, you cannot promise everything. You should keep
You cannot promise everything. And he's been at fault of
promising everything.
Promising too much.
And this is what happens, right? This feel of not finishing stuff.
I think you could alleviate the feeling of incompleteness if they were able to deliver small updates.
Yeah.
In shorter periods of time.
Yeah.
So, for example, instead of giving us a bunch of new missions for Railjack, take a couple of weeks and give us one new type of mission.
Yeah, that could be another solution.
And do it multiple times, for example.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The Railjack problem on itself of all the factions, that's a different goal.
Yeah.
Because developing Railjack for a new whole faction, it probably entails a whole new set of
a lot more
animations and models and
things
for
a lot more of the
work.
Developer effort and time. And
but for example, give us a new mission type. Give us one. Like, take a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. Take a couple of people, develop a new mission type.
Yeah.
And give it to us in a weekend, like an event to launch that mission type.
Yeah.
Is it enough to make everything perfect? No. But maybe after years of doing that, every now and then,
you will satiate.
You accumulate enough mission types that it feels complete.
Yeah, but like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that will need like kind of a restructure of how they pace the development of the content, and they've talked about this.
Does. Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about this.
That's the funny thing, because that's what they were doing at the beginning.
Yeah.
They shifted to this bigger delivery turnaround.
Correct.
But at the beginning, that's what they were doing. They were doing new stuff, small stuff every month. Like one new mission type, and they will make an event out of that.
Yeah.
And but I think that could benefit a lot. Like, that could alleviate the feeling for a lot of these incompleteness problem.
Correct. Now
I feel less abandoned.
I feel that kind of shifting of doing both things in a correct pace. Like, and you have to understand, these things take time as a company, like to actually mold and find what it works and learn all these lessons. It can be only do by skin, right? There's no, like, you have to live it to learn it, basically. There's no correct answer. What like D has digital, they've always been a weird company, and they've always been in a weird, like, financial kind of state and all this crazy stuff, which makes it the company that they're now. But I feel like with what they did with the Night Waves and the lessons that they learned there, I think they're kind of shifting to more of that, kind of having like a part of their team working in the big thing, and then the other part of the team updating stuff all the time. I think this I got a feeling that we're gonna see less and less of these problems.
I hope so, but I feel like some of these incompleteness problems could benefit from that.
Yeah,
like things, for example, like adding different, like increasing the pool size for the bounties in the open world.
Yeah,
that would help the feeling that you keep. Like once you reach a large enough pool, so you don't feel that it's so repetitive.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
That'll make it feel more complete in a sense.
Complete, yes, absolutely.
And that's the thing that they could do slowly, like make a new mission type or a new bounty type.
Yeah.
Make a weekend event to launch it. That is nothing big. At least just weekend event, and you're gonna get this special thing for your Warframe that is cosmetic, that has the little drawing of the event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like those kind of things, like, it's gonna run for 3 days and limited time. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, without real rewards, like with no power rewards. That's what I'm saying. Like, cosmetic, maybe like a decoration for your ship and the thing that you put in your Warframe. And there you go launch a 3-day weekend event and with a couple of new mission types. And I feel like those kind of things could help the player base feel more taken care of. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes.
and you can jump between all these things that need some love, like project missions, maybe all the open worlds also need some love, and you can give it that way. Like for example, the big event in Plains of Eidolon hasn't come around for a while.
Yes, correct. The story thing.
Yeah. That maybe that should come a little bit more often.
Yeah, in the rotation of the events and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I know that the Fortuna one happens pretty often.
Yeah.
The term event.
Yeah.
That is around fairly often. So but
Yeah.
I know it's those kind of things that could hug the feeling of just leaving things behind.
I think in conclusion they need to work in completing stuff, absolutely. But because of the nature of Warframe, I think they're striving to do it. I think that the desire is never to deliver something and leave it completely incomplete.
No, it's never like that.
Yeah, but I think they will get better at it. I'm pretty. I feel like they will get better on it, but it's a valid thing.
They will, and one of the things that they're painfully aware of is that when they launch stuff, it is 1.0. It is always 1.0.
Yeah.
We'll always get iteration or the Warframe content. It's just that the last couple of years they have a struggle with the pace.
Correct.
Because it seemed like they were moving into these larger content deliveries.
Yeah.
That definitely doesn't work for Warframe.
Correct. Yeah. Since Plains. This all started with Plains and the explosion of players, and they grew a little bit, and etc. Yeah. Anyways, I think it will be fine.
they will be fine for sure. But I mean, I'm just putting here like I love Warframe. Is not perfect.
Yeah, we do. So, Bungie, please, quality of life improvements. Burn down the bounty system. That will be my first one. Replace it with everything. What? You agree with that? I agree. I think they can do it. I know that they cannot do it, but so this forum post, what does it say? It says.
So this is interesting. It's basically a person saying or listing some of the quality of life changes that they would like to see in the game. Yeah. Now that we're close to what is the name?
New Light. No.
New Light? No.
Light something. Bringing of light.
The new stuff.
The new expansion.
the bolting stuff that has a name.
The bringer of light. The destroyer of things and stuff.
The stuff.
The Shadowlands keep light. No. That's wrong game.
That's the wrong game. So and I found
Beyond
it interesting.
Light. There you go, Beyond Light.
Beyond Light. That's there you go. So the first thing that this person mentioned is a ping system.
Yes. Like
why doesn't Destiny have that?
The ones in
any game.
Yeah, in a bunch of games now they have ping systems. Yeah. Yeah.
Not only a ping, but like that you could mark
a map
on the map.
Yeah, a map marker. Like it was like what?
Exactly.
And like the systems that the MMOs have when they like mark stuff floating, that would be so useful. Oh my god!
It gives you like a little arrow.
Yeah, that would be so useful to mark zones in that. Whoa, dude. Wow.
Why doesn't it have that? It will be so useful.
Yeah, like I just realized that, like, of course WoW has that, but I thought it was a WoW thing, and then I went to 11, and 11 has that, and ESO has it, And you're like,
11, you mean 14?
what? Yeah, 14, sorry. And it's like, of course, it makes sense. Like, you need to mark stuff in the real world when you're coordinating a bunch of monkeys to do stuff in a raid and that sort of thing. But Destiny doesn't have it.
Yeah, no, but like map markers, like markers, like raid markers, like both 14 and WoW have.
Yeah, and ESO has them too.
ESO as well.
Yeah.
Like markers with shapes and colors and numbers.
Oh my god.
Why doesn't it exist? I have no idea.
And why you cannot mark players?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, Bungie, what are you doing?
But wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing. That would be the best thing. That would make things so easy.
So much easier.
Yeah.
And like the minimap market, like Destiny 2 has a lot of like collecting stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of
correct.
annoying missions that are about like going and go pick the thing.
Yeah.
It would be amazing to have like a marker system in the minimap.
Yeah. Technically, they have a marker system, but they show you the thing and they show you the little white dot, but...
No, but that's
not, no.
Also, that doesn't work on the minimap.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
It's such a basic idea. Why is it not in the game?
I 100% agree with you.
And it is not like it is like this.
It's not
revolutionary idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, since when WoW has markers? Since
I think for sure since Cataclysm.
Since Cataclysm, right? Since Cataclysm, right? Yeah. That's 10 years ago.
I know. I know.
Christ.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, I was also thinking it should have a coordinate system.
A coordinate system.
You know how WoW you can type coordinates
for the maps.
Yeah, for the map, and also in 14. Like if you go through.
Yeah.
Like if you move your cursor.
It shows you the coordinates.
It shows you coordinate.
Yeah.
That is so useful. Like when you have, it is just.
Well, the fight there is like the maps in Destiny are not that big.
It doesn't matter. It is not about how big they are.
All right.
It is how, like for example, for this stupid quest, one of the exotic quests in.
Yeah, for
Mars,
the one in Mars, for the sleeper simulant quest.
That you have to go around and find all these little node things that you need to interact with. It's a pain in the ass to find them. Imagine how easy it would be, like if you could have coordinates.
Yeah,
and you just have a list of coordinates.
Yeah.
Like this and this coordinate.
Oh my God, Jesus.
And then you can go to a map, move your mouse or pointer around with a control, and then click, and you put a marker on it.
Oh my God.
And now you know where to go.
No, Jesus, Destiny, why?
And Destiny is full of those things that it's like collecting stuff.
Yep, correct.
Wouldn't that be so much easier for everyone?
Yes, it will. Oh, it is so obvious.
It is so obvious. Why wouldn't they do it? I wonder.
I don't know. Yeah, I think more and more we'll find out that the answer is laziness half of the time.
That's fair enough, but
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Because they're an action MMO. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Like even games that are not action MMOs
have those kind of systems. Yeah.
Valorant. Yeah, they have their system where you can ping things.
Yeah. Valorant.
And it is a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And they said that the Destiny 2 is also gonna be more
an
acceptance.
MMO, more RPG, MMO like. Yeah. It's time to put these things that all the MMOs have that makes life easier and your game slightly better.
I mean, it's just that when you're doing those quests, you waste a lot of time
just looking at pictures or like looking at a video.
At pictures and guides and stuff. And like that's what most people do.
Yeah, correct.
There are just a few people in the community who are the ones who put together the guides.
Yeah. But most
people just look it up and like, okay, I have to go there. Then you just walk and go.
Yeah, exactly. For the love of Christ.
Now you're gonna basically redo the whole game, Bungie.
Yeah.
You just had a marker system.
Yeah, please do. Like, it's time.
And something that is permanent because for example, the thing that we have with the ghost that only shows up when you have the ghost out, it's completely useless because you cannot run with it.
You can only walk with your ghost out.
Yeah.
You can do it on the top of your sparrow.
Yeah, but like that doesn't work in all the places because a lot of the things are heating.
That is true.
And that is still like the pointy thing is still not useful all the time.
Yeah.
It's just not present enough, and just still like to have personal markers for that.
I didn't realize this. I'm suffering here. As a game developer, my soul is in pain right now, Bungie. Anyway, the next thing that he says, a better tower that is easy to do all your in-between activities. Okay.
Which I agree.
Yeah.
Because the tower is basically split in two sections.
Yes.
And you need to interact with both on a regular basis.
Yes, you do have a porter, but that's loading time.
It's a loading screen.
Yeah. And why?
And walking in between them, it is just a waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's not like the tower is small. It's a huge area.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Why? I will add to this the vault system in the I don't know. I have a conflict with this. It's like the access to your vault is made easier by third-party things, but it should already be kind of integrated into the game. But it's a difficult discussion because is the concept of the chest. And in the majority of the MMOs, your bank is a physical location that you cannot access unless you go to it.
And in my opinion, it should work more like that.
All right. Yeah.
And that's what I don't have a problem with the vault system. Like I have problems with the UI.
Yes.
Because it has pages, and I find that stupid. It should just show me everything at once.
Yes, exactly.
Like as a mouse user, I should be able to scroll through them.
Yeah, correct.
The pages concept, maybe it's easier
That's why no one uses the vault in the actual game.
Yeah, because you have like 10 pages, and it does stupid things like when you go to your character, you equip something, you go back to a vault.
Yeah.
It resets you back to the first page.
Yeah.
For no reason. It doesn't drop you back where you were standing.
Yeah, correct.
And the sorting options are just painful. Like,
yes.
It makes no sense. It lacks
makes no sense.
Sorting stuff.
Yeah. The tower needs to have everything closer-ish. And
it needs to be convenient to you.
Yeah, it needs to be more convenient. I agree with that. Like, yeah.
It needs to be something closer, in my opinion, to... I think the White House in the Division 2 is a good example.
Yes.
Of a functional enough
Yes.
Everything that you actually need to interact with, it's closed.
Yes.
like the crafting table and the vendors and
and
the vault and the changing stuff.
Yeah.
It's all like in a little area?
Space. Yeah, in a little area, and then if you want to go to the shooting range, it's just like downstairs. And
oh, dude, the stupid Destiny should have a shooting range.
Yeah, again, you're removing the supposedly shooting range that you made us grind for. That's just an insult to the players, dude. You need like a normal shooting, like people need to
with
test
dummies.
DPS and.
Like just a standard, like a normal shooting range.
Yeah, like every game has this. Like every game has dummies, even ESO. Like
WoW has dummies.
Yeah, WoW has dummies. Like, oh my god.
But, and the dummies are in the city. You just
yeah.
You don't have to load to a different place. You don't have to fly to a different island.
Yeah.
No, they're in the city because they do understand that.
Like my question now is
when you create a pleasure hub, it should have most of the amenities that you need.
Like, is Bungie afraid of people seeing their numbers? Are you Anthem, Bungie?
I mean, like these are still instances. Like the tower instances are just instances. They never load all the people.
Yeah, correct.
They have a limited amount of spaces. I think it's like 16 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it still doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
And like a shooting range on an FPS game, dude, that's like 101.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Man, you just make like I go and enjoy Destiny as a game and I find the gameplay fun. But it just made me look at this horrible game design flaws that are just like the first thing that they teach you when you go and study games design is like you have to you want to make the things easier and convenient for the player, and your UIs have to be clean and understandable to the point of, that a monkey can go through them, and they don't have to be a hassle. You are trying to keep your players as immersed as you can without like reducing loading screens or doing something for the player to. Anyways, and they're like fundamentals of. It's like this is not revolutionary. This is not freshly discovered. This has been in the industry for a long time by now.
And
fundamentals. Oh my god!
It is funny because you can make mistakes, like Monster Hunter World did.
Yes.
Like their player hub was awful.
Yes.
Because it was again full of either loading screens or awful troll time.
Correct.
The player hub it looked amazing, but the base one was like Astera, was just stupidly awful.
Yeah. Even if they make
change it for Iceborne, and the Iceborne one is fully functional.
Even if they make an elevator, even if they make it a little bit easier, you still have to travel a lot in Monster Hunter World to do the things that you have to do.
And basically,
but in defense, like in defense of Monster Hunter World, they at least allow the player base to correct it with mods. I mean, they didn't stop that because they could have stopped it. Yeah,
mods are not completely.
Yeah, they're not the
mods are still in a gray area for Monster Hunter.
But at least we had a solution for that particular problem.
We have a solution, but it's not. It still falls in a gray area.
Yes, correct. I agree.
Like,
but
it's still against user agreements to use third-party modification.
Correct.
So,
but we like our gut race. We like our visitors.
no, but like just talking about the pleasure hub. Astera as a base pleasure hub is awful.
Yeah, but the new player hub in Iceborne is fantastic. Everything is convenient.
They listen. They figure out. Yeah, it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
And they changed it to like a functional, still amazingly looking. Player hub.
Yeah. Yes. And you're older than Monster Hunter World. Destiny.
I'm just saying, you can make mistakes, but you should correct at some
your
point.
mistakes. In a time
Like for example,
reflection.
Boralus in WoW is one of my favorite player hubs because everything is there
Yeah.
and it's convenient and close. And
You know that talking about this stuff in Destiny, it just frustrates me to no end, right?
yeah, I know.
Because it is like, Bungie, you have such a strong game in your hand. You have such a fun gameplay loop. And you're just like not taking advantage of it. You have such a strong following.
You know, this is like matter stupid.
You know what?
And you have two types of engrams.
Yes.
And to open them, they're in completely opposite places of the tower.
Why?
I know.
And I know,
You
man.
either suffer through a load screen or walk
Yeah.
for like 4 minutes.
Yes. Like, I know, like the shadow engram system is fantastic. Like the fact that lets you kind of have control your loot, the fact that it's dropping a lot, the fact that it's giving you a lot of items and rewards, that all is fantastic. But why will you make it so inconvenient to interact with? to the point that you start dreading it. And it's just not because the getting rewards is great. It's not because the system is great. It's because it's so fucking inconvenient to go there, do the thing, and then do the other thing.
I agree with you.
And go through like 14 screens because reasons.
No, for no reason.
For
That's
no
the
reason,
problem.
yeah.
There is no good reason. Like if you were to tell me, oh, it's because we cannot load that much of the tower at once. Then okay, fair enough. But we're not at. Like that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, but no. I mean, like the simple thing of like, the requester should be one thing, not two things.
I don't care, even if it is two things.
Yeah.
As long as they are close to one another.
Yeah,
It's
they're
fine.
close to one another, but it's still like.
No, but I'm not talking about the recaster and the other thing. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I have a problem with those being far away from the regular
from the
engram.
normal, from the normal thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I know
Like all
that-
those three things are part of the same system at the end.
Yeah, opening engram, opening reward.
Why
Basically.
are they not close to each other?
Yeah.
They have all like they share space on the inventory, which
Yeah.
means that they're part of the same thing.
Yeah.
But they don't share the same space. Physical space in game.
Yeah, you go from one to the other and then you take a 50-minute shame walk to the other place or
That's
a
what I'm
loading
saying.
screen if you prefer. Yeah.
And there are small things like when you're decrypting, like when you're upgrading the things, you should be able to select at once how many do you want to upgrade at once.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to be done one by one.
Yes,
You
correct.
should be able to say upgrade all the 10
to
things that I have to
Yeah.
this. Or-
Yeah. Upgrade this two to this thing and then upgrade this other two to this other thing.
But no, you have to do one by one
Yeah.
because we don't have the technology.
We don't have the technology to control select multiple.
It's not about even control select. It's just like you should be able to like right click it and it should have an option.
Yeah.
How many?
It's so ridiculous, Lucho.
I know. I know that it's ridiculous. And for me, it's still ridiculous, for example, that we're limited to carrying 10 at a time. Why is that restriction in place?
Man, and it's like, it's so ridiculous because I was watching this morning this YouTuber saying like, oh, what people is not more hype for the new expansion of Destiny, and why people is not more hype for what is to come and all these great changes. And I'm like, man, because they have this ridiculous stuff. Do you do you even know
Can
how
you
game
explain to me
developers
why
do?
can we only carry 10 engrams at a time?
Yes, that's a good question.
Is there any good reason?
No, why they're not simple like a number of engrams that you have, right? They're not physical rewards. They're gonna be like roles that you're gonna have for physical. Like I understand why physical rewards cannot have a limit in your vault. That makes sense, right? Because they're items.
Mean, they can have a limit, but let's say you can carry 50 of them, sure. But why 10? It's just 10 is such a small number.
Yeah.
That it makes it inconvenient. Like
yes.
Because you fill up pretty fast out of those.
Yeah.
And you have to then spend more time going back to the tower to open them.
Yeah, and then again, it doesn't make sense in terms of technology because they're roles. They're not the physical items.
They're just loot boxes. They're not items.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can buy 100 loot boxes. It's just a number.
I know.
And then you just roll them, and then when you get the actual thing, then what is the actual thing? Like they can be
it's just like a ticket.
Yeah, they can be as easy literally the icon of the engram that it is, and then by the side X blah, right?
They could be just a currency. Because
yes,
that's what
they can be
are.
just a currency. Of course, if you think about if you think about it, if you try to put it in the shoes of Bungie, it's like because they want them to feel special. That you get an engram and it's like a special thing, right? But in the direction that they're going, because it's a looter shooter, it doesn't make any sense. You're not an MMO where you don't have the itemization system that World of Warcraft is going back to, where every piece of gear that you get is special. No, you have random rolls. You are throwing items to the player because you are a looter shooter and you're giving them a lot of loot. And it makes sense, right? But it doesn't make sense. I think it's like, I think my brain is melting. Lucho.
Even in the WoW scenario.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's why WoW has a lot of currencies.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
It's just because that's why, like, you don't carry physical gold.
Yeah.
It's that kind of reason.
Yes.
It's just, this doesn't need to be a physical thing that you have.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Such a strong limitation.
Like the engrams don't have. Like, it makes sense in the system of the requester because you're kind of converting them to something very specific, but the only thing that you're doing is like limited the things that it can roll, which it still doesn't make sense.
Fine.
But like,
no, but that's all good and fine.
Yeah.
You should be able to carry more than 10 at a time.
Yeah. Yes. Why? Why not? I don't know. Like, and it's weird because they have engrams that you pick up and they automatically open, the blue ones.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. Bungie, they're stupid people. I don't know.
It is just silly because it just makes the game loop inconvenient.
Yes.
Because it breaks your session.
Correct. And one of the most frustrating things in Destiny right now is like you fill up of engrams with the new and exciting, like this got exacerbated because of the new and exciting dark engram system that everybody praised because they're getting you great loot. They finally get into that point when you get loot, you get rewarded for your time in the game, and everybody say, "This is amazing, Bungie." But it just exacerbated that kind of stupid things that they did, the decisions that they make because they didn't believe that they were a looter shooter properly, I guess.
I really don't know.
Right? Because I guess that back when they designed that, they didn't think that they need to carry more than 10
Sure, but that changed.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't you change?
Things. I don't
exactly.
know.
Why didn't you change the other part of the system that you clearly changed now, and the community is praising you for? Like, I don't know. Man, I'm gonna move on from this topic or my brain is gonna melt. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. This clearly like game design problems, fundamentals that they have in Bungie. For one reason or whatever reason they have, they're like, yes, let's move on.
I agree.
All right, so in the last topic of today, we have a story of somebody collect all 100 sword transmog appearance. So tell me about this, Lucho. Why did you bring this here?
Why?
Yeah.
Because this shows that you have a lot of stuff to involve.
Okay.
Even when there is no content.
That's all? That's all your reason?
This speaks to my collecting heart.
There you go. So the farmer basically brought on some new plants that he is surprisingly that the people are planting and growing up. Just bring farming technology to the podcast. Oh my god. I saw
so okay, let's explain. So there is this streamer called there's Mephisto.
Yeah.
And he's huge into collecting stuff.
Yeah.
And he already collected, I think a couple of months ago, he collected all 12,000 plate transmog appearances in the game.
Like all pieces of plate.
All the possible plate pieces that you can transmog.
Yeah.
He collected all of them.
Jesus Christ. How many? 12,000?
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay.
Like for all the pieces that you can have played. All the transmogs.
Yeah.
And now he just after doing that, he just finished collecting
100
all the one-handed sword transmogs.
And so this counts maces.
No, one weapon sword.
So just
one-handed swords.
One-handed swords, because you can transmog a sword into a mace.
No. I know, but this is just one-handed swords.
Okay.
In the category of one-handed swords.
The category of one-handed swords. All right. Well, yeah. WoW has a lot of insane content to collect. That is true.
Isn't it cool?
It is crazy.
It is insane, the amount of time.
It is insane in the membrane of any player to do. I saw the Asmongold passed a week finishing all the achievements in BFA, right? He was kind of he was kind of like redeeming himself because he's supposed to be like the top of the crop player, like player collector of pets in transmog and that sort of stuff in WoW, right? And most of all achievements. Like at one point, that was one of the reasons why he became so big, because at one point he had like all the achievements in the game, something like that, very close. At some point in some of the expansion. And he was kind of falling behind and kind of like losing his momentum. So he did a bet with the Twitch streamers in a post on Reddit, and then he spent an entire week catching up and doing everything in
Damn, that's
in BFA.
That's a lot of time also.
Yeah. And he still I see it every time he starts a stream. He goes and grinds one of the Pandaria raids for a transmogs.
Yep.
Yeah, for some of the transmogs that he's been doing for like 5 years, something like that. And he for like 4 years, and he hasn't dropped for him. So yeah, there you go. Whoa, has a lot of insane content. Like, in my hats off to the Mephisto for doing this thing, right?
Like, I find this amazing because this is something that most people wouldn't even dream of doing.
Correct. Yeah. These
Because
takes
the numbers are insane.
a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of grinding.
Dude, 530 one-handed sword.
Jesus Christ.
Like unique appearances.
Plus, you have to have a little bit of luck, right? For
You have
it
to have a
drop.
lot of luck.
Yeah, for the thing to drop. Like, and that's why I bring the example of Phasmodal. He's been trying to get a Transmog for years now, and he hasn't dropped one.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You
Okay.
have to have a lot of luck.
Yeah. That is definitely interesting in terms of what you can achieve in terms of collection in your game.
But it is just. I would like to do something like this so much. I just don't have the time.
Yeah, man. That's why streamers.
But whenever you open the Transmog tab on WoW,
yeah,
and that it tells you how many appearances do you have in that category.
I started ignoring it. There's too many.
There are too many, but it always I'm always thinking, it will be so cool to have all of them.
Man, that's a lot of farming.
I know. For example, when you go to the sets tab, and you can see the armor sets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another one that tickles me. Like, dude, I want all the sets.
I think that one is.
That one is easier.
It's easier, yeah. That one is easier because it's just you have to go and kind of farm all raids, and there's some that are easier to drop, and
yeah, but there are also some of them that you cannot get anymore. I think you cannot get certain colorations for the PvP sets.
Oh, right, yeah, because they're tied to the seasons, right? Yeah.
To specific seasons, and those are just gone.
But if you were talking about the raid ones, they're like
the raid ones, you confirm those for
Yeah.
sure, but it's still tied to it is like you have just a couple of runs per week.
Yeah, and some of the sets are cool. Some of those raid.
Not only for the coolness or lack of coolness, but just completing it feels so good. Completing a set feels so good. That's what I'm saying.
We should
every time that I look into a Transmog tab, I just
if Shadowkeep let us keep. If
Shadowlands
let us have more alts, if it's a more alt friendly expansion, we should definitely go back and do some all raid runs, and probably go both a plate wearing so we can do it faster, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. Or both leather wearers or whatever. We'll look.
Would you ever try something like this?
Not in World of Warcraft. It's too much. I'll probably try it in another game that is more, not as insane as this.
but that's the point, that it's how insane it is that makes it valuable.
I don't know.
That's the point. If it were easy,
Yeah.
who cares?
No. But
how many people have all the exotics in Destiny 2? A lot of people.
Yeah, that is true.
Who cares about that? It's not impressive.
Yeah.
How many people have 100% of collection in one category of things?
Yeah.
In World of Warcraft.
Oh my god. Well, I don't
That's
know.
kind of the point. That is just. That is just insane.
It's just insane. That is true.
I know, but that's what makes it. That's what makes it crazy in a sense.
Yeah.
Would you ever try something like that?
Maybe.
In which game do you think you'll? I know probably not World of Warcraft because it's not your.
In which game will I try something like that? Let me think about it. The game that I'm currently playing. I feel like I probably. I don't know. I don't know. Like I won't. I probably won't tell you if World of Warcraft is out of the scope. It's a question of if I ever got that itch, I will probably do it. If something like if I see that number and said like because I've done it in other games, like this is incomplete. Maybe I can try to do it. And if I get into the rhythm, like if I start doing it, I probably will finish it. Like more often than not, I will finish it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I ever get, like, again, because I started in the middle of an expansion in World of Warcraft, I haven't felt that particular itch. But I was already looking at the mount collection in.
Oh, the mount. That's
no. In 14, I was looking at the mount collection in 14. I was already saying like, oh, I can do this and do that, and I can plan that in this, and blah blah blah. It was more gockable, and the game was more, and I've been feel more connected to 14 right now because I'm going through the story and I found it like very interesting. But right now I don't feel connected to World of Warcraft that much because of the place that I started. I enjoyed it for the raids, but maybe if Shadowlands gets me, maybe I will get one of those itchy goals for it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't think starting a new expansion from zero will fix that.
Yeah.
Because the game is still the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like if you're not super attracted to a static in the game.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is a purely static thing.
I did. I think that's the thing. Like, if you feel attracted to the static of the thing, and that's why I sometimes ask you if we ever go back and do the old raid runs, because I did find that the sets of the raids were cool, so I want them.
Very cool.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. I think you hit the nail in the head. That if I find something that I actually feel very attracted to, as a in the final aesthetic, I probably will go for it. That's why I was checking at the 14 mounts, because I find the aesthetics of 14 more attractive than the aesthetics of WoW.
Got it.
Yeah.
You know, I have even thought about grinding mounts in WoW, but not in 14.
There you go.
I'm more than satisfied with my flying chicken.
Fair enough. There you go. Yes.
In 14, I don't need anything else. If I never get any other flying mount,
you'll be fine. Yes.
I just don't care.
So I think that's the thing. That's like if you get that
definitely plays a huge role in that.
Yeah. There you go. Anyways, and that's it. With that note, that's it for the deep dive of today. So we move to our audience questions and feedback. So remember, if you want to write us, just contact us, send us an email, if you're watching us on YouTube or hearing us on YouTube, you can put a comment down below. We will read it for sure. You can send us an email to the email accounts or tweet us to our Twitter accounts. We check everything before doing the actual script for the show. So, for this question, the first questions of today is from one of our listeners. Is why do you guys talk about World of Warcraft so much?
Because I am the one who chooses the topics.
That's Lucho's fault.
I mean, I am the one who selects the topic for the podcast, but
like I don't.
But you can
always check them. Yes, I always check them. And the reason is Well, there is the other reason, because World of Warcraft has so much story, and it's the same reason why we talk a lot about Warframe, because and we talk about a lot of Destiny too. And it's funny because they're very interesting studying cases from a game developer perspective.
They definitely are.
Yeah, they're the games with huge trajectories, with very particular stories, with very particular design decisions, with like super interesting things to always study and look at. And like Destiny almost fried my brain just talking about it. So, and the same with World of Warcraft, it has so many moving parts. Yeah. And history behind it, and interesting things to study, and how he tries to get relevant. And like if we choose at some point to study like magic, it will be kind of like the same. It would be if this was a podcast about tabletop games, I would probably spend the majority of the content talking about magic because of kind of the same reason of 40K, because they're very influential and interesting things to study in the gaming realm, right?
I mean, also we are biased towards the games that we play.
Yes, that too. Yeah,
and
hence this.
We've been getting into 14, for example, but we have not really
fully
dived deep into a game.
Yes, correct.
So we don't have that much to say about it.
Correct.
But as soon as we reach a point where we feel comfortable like dissecting more carefully a game, we'll for sure start talking about 14.
Yeah, we were talking about it. So
and there's some more games that we play that are just simpler. Yeah. And I don't mean that in a bad way, just like the Division 2. It's an interesting game, but it's easier to dissect.
Correct.
So desire.
Yeah. The problems of Division 2 are more like design decisions or content drops, and that sort of things are easier to understand. Like
and those things are ever present in other games with more
correct
rich nuts and cracks.
Yeah. So that's the answer.
But the answer is, it is my fault. I do select the topics. But
and then I don't mind talking about it because it's an interesting game to dissect.
If I have not dissuaded.
Yeah.
and I am biased. I really like World of Warcraft.
So but again,
there is that.
And that is the reason why this section exists. If you want us to speak of a particular topic that you find that we have interesting things to say about it, like, feel free to tell us. We are open to suggestions all the time, and we include it almost all the time. And for a second, talking about suggestions, for a second, questions of this week is: will you guys be able to talk about League of Legends now that the World Tournament is upon us?
We could, but I have nothing to say about League of Legends. So we can have one of us talking about League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends. Yeah. I don't like League of Legends.
Yeah.
Like me personally. So.
Yes.
And I have played like half an hour of League of Legends in my whole life.
Yeah.
Which is like one match against bots.
Yes.
And that's the extent of my experience with League. So, do I have something to say about League? No. That's
true. And I'll second to you. I think the suggestion comes more for like, we should like variate the topics to like League of Legends or Overwatch or these other competitive games. But if there is something interesting to check in there in terms of design and the things that we talk in this, for sure we will bring it up too. But I would probably bring up League when they do the big item overhaul, because in terms of systems, that's interesting, and that's something that we can discuss here, because Lucho is familiar with itemization and that sort of stuff, right? Even if he doesn't play League at all, right? And And when that comes out, I'll probably try to bring it into the podcast. But League is kind of in terms of systems, is kind of a stable game, right?
It is, I mean, if you think about it, most competitive games are like system-wise are fairly simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you think about Overwatch,
Yeah,
like sure, there are things that need to be balanced across the
Correct.
game, and there are balancing issues, and there are
Yes.
things like that. But the game on itself, I mean, system-wise, you're talking then about
yeah,
map design and encounter design and things like that.
yeah,
At least for Overwatch, but there are no like team compositions, maybe, but that's like a discussion about meta
yeah,
in the game more than about the game itself.
yeah.
And I so far I have tried to stay away from like talking about meta in games,
Yeah.
because that's just a thing that happens in games and that changes.
Yes.
But those changes are usually tied to how the game evolves
Yeah.
as a whole, more than its parts moving.
Yeah. And we have bring those kind of topics here in the podcast. If you look through the history, when they are big systemic changes, because that's generally what we care here to study. Like big systems. Of course, we bring these kind of small, silly topics here that or of on chooses, but that's kind of personal. But overall, like if we can put the goal of the podcast is to study that kind of systemic game design problems and occurrences, and that happens more in this kind of MMOs like games where they're tinkering all the time with the systems and the systems of power and the interactions. That the competitive side of games, they try to be a lot more stable with those kind of things, right?
Definitely.
Because people need practice. It's like if you the example is this: if you want to study basketball as a sport, you will study from the side of the players, what the players are doing, how they are behaving, blah blah blah. But fundamentally, the sport is still the same for decades and decades and decades. It's the same rules. There's been some updates.
The pace at which it changes is slow.
Yeah, exactly.
As per sport.
Yeah, exactly. And the size of the ball, like there's small, very changes systemically, but the game is still the same. Why? Because people need to be proficient at the game. In MMOs, it doesn't happen like that. Yes, they have base systems where people are proficient, but these games are more interesting in give you new experiences through those same systems, right?
No. Yeah,
So that's why they changed that concept, and that's why they're more interesting to study in terms of game design decisions and system changes, more so than meta changes and that sort of stuff, because they show you the philosophies and the changes in the industry and what things are experimented or not, and if they're doing it right or wrong, and if the industry is learning the lessons in terms of design, right? And the competitive games are a lot more slower because of that reason, because people have to practice, because they have to be treated like a sport, and as a sport you don't want to change the fundamentals too much.
Yeah, like for example, in my head, one of the quintessential examples for competitive game is
CSGO. Yeah.
And like the game has been the same for years now.
Yep.
Not to say that there are not little changes here and there.
Yes.
But that doesn't change how the game plays fundamentally.
Yeah.
And it's kind of... Sure, we could talk about CSGO, but I don't know. I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah.
We could try to, though.
Yeah. But like, as I say, like I prefer to bring those kind of topics when there are fundamental changes. We'll probably talk about Overwatch 2 when it comes out. That's a guarantee. We'll probably talk about when I know that the League of Legends is gonna have next year a big itemization change, and I will probably bring up that topic to see how they fundamentally change one of the core systems of the game, because that'll be interesting, and we can talk about itemization in a real competitive environment. We are able to do that, and how that will change the game or make it easier or difficult. But these games that we talk about here at the time are in constant flux for putting it in some explanation. So that's the reason why they're more interesting. It's not that we're not capable of talking about competitive games and that sort of stuff. It's like, it's not the realm that we bring into the podcast, right?
Also, I'm hugely opposed to League.
That too.
To any type of MOA.
And he yes.
The only MOA that I approve is Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. So if I have a different partner and a different podcast style, I probably could talk for hours about meta changes in games and composition and esports team. I am capable of doing all that because I study that side of the game industry too, but it is not why we build this. It is not the idea when we will build this podcast, right?
Yeah, it was definitely not how it was conceived.
Yes, there you go.
Should we move into a direction? I don't know.
So if you're in,
I don't know, because if it is, like, for me, a problem of talking about meta in a specific game, is that is only a meaningful talk for that game.
Yep.
And then comparing things across the industry is difficult.
Correct.
Because if we can sit here and talk about the meta in WoW.
Yeah.
Which I have, for as much as we talk about WoW, I have avoided the meta talk.
Yes.
As much as possible. Because we could sit here and talk about it. It's how relevant is that really?
Yeah.
Like, it just may be relevant for the next year or so, but
yeah,
that's always gonna change.
Yeah, it's always I think flux. So I think overall the answer is not. Yes, we talk about a lot of different games, but the games that we talk more of are the ones that are moving more, and we bring some other different games worth to study on it, and that includes. At some point, we will talk again about the itemization change of League of Legends, because I found that interesting. And I know that even if Lucho doesn't like the MOBAs, he can study.
I have my opinions.
He can study an item system with me to put it in some in words.
I can play the old advocate.
There we go. So I think that's the answer to that topic. If you are interested, however, if you're interested in having, like, for me at least, a kind of content when we talk about the meta and esports and that sort of stuff, just put it in the comments, send me a message, talk to me about it, and we'll see what we can do here in the Long Name Gamer channel and see if I can provide that content for you. I'll be happy to. All right.
Fair enough.
And with that, I think that is all.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning into Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Lucio Polanco.
And I am the Long Name Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Long Name Gamer, and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LongNameGamerTV, where I stream Mondays to Fridays. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Share it with your grandma, share it with your family, share it with every single people that you know in Facebook, Instagram, through mail, I don't know, whatever social media that you use, TikTok, etc., because all that sharing that you do, seeing, recommending, liking, help us to grow and make better content for you. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for coming to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
you know? The antioxidant power of plums also helps in treatment ailments such as osteoporosis, muscular degeneration, cancer, diabetes, obesity, and slow the development of Alzheimer's disease. Plums also contain antioxidant and quercetin, beneficial for preventing brain cell breakdown. So, this fruit is interesting because it stops Alzheimer's. Because the majority of fruits cure cancer, so there you go.
They do. When a labor shortage hit California in 1905, a farm turned to 500 monkeys to harvest their prune plums. The monkeys were organized into gangs of 50 with a human foreman. They were awesome at picking the plums, but actually ended up eating all of them.
Of course!
Today, machines do the work without eating a single plum.
What? Who thought of this idea? It feels like an episode of The Simpsons, dude.
But what else could you do if there is a labor shortage?
It's like you
need to find a solution.
Train monkeys. literally train monkeys into gangs. Monkey gangs. And of course they end up eating the fruit.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do. Great. Okay. Well, Mr. Farmer, it was an interesting idea, but you have to train your monkeys
1905.
to not eat the fruit. How do you train your monkeys to not eat the fruit? That's the question of this idea.